Morning people, and welcome back to another episode of WVF. What very faint V8, I suppose, I don't know. Again, I've got continuing sagas with this car. Once I started pulling it apart, I've got more problems. Now, in one of the previous videos, I did say that there were lamps missing, and I found out the reason for that. It's because when this car was done or whatever, this is the dash cluster that came out of it. Now the membrane thankfully is all good. The well, let's have a look and see on the back. I did clean up, good piece of wire there. These two here were missing, weren't plugged in. This is for the low fuel in the beam, I believe, but don't quote me on that. I think it is, yes, if you look at this here. Now this center cluster illumination panel is one I had spare, and this is a later unit with a nice bold, not sure if you can see that. As you can see, now this one is quite a very early coupe one, because it has the choke light and the fog light in. Let's see if I can get that to illuminate. Let's use my phone, I can show you. Come on. Alright, let's see if I can show you that. There you are. That may not come out too bright, but you've got brakes, ignition and oil, which is the same as this one. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. And then you have brakes, yeah. So the first three are the same, and then you have fasten belts, which is good. That's not illuminating, but I you know, to be honest, at the moment, I'm wondering if when the seats in this car were changed to leather, they removed the switching and the wiring for the brake, for the fasten the seatbelt sign, and then it goes down to the choke. Now the plot thickens, right? So, and then the next one down is low fuel. I did find the delay unit, and it is wired in. And then I found rear fog. So two amber warning lights there, low fuel, rear fog. Okay, where's the fog light? Well, let me get that, turn that light off now. Whereas this one is beam and fuel. So there we are. So I'm going to use this one because the wiring for this connector and this connector should be the same as a 1982 edition. So I'm not going to use this one. So this is for an old coupe. So if anybody wants this anywhere in the world, they are more than welcome to have it free of charge, with a bit of shipping, I suppose. But yeah, anybody is welcome to have this center one if they need one, but I doubt it. But it has to be something drastic for that to have gone wrong. So I cleaned up a lot of the connections. I verified all the bulbs working, and incidentally, just for, let me get it round the right way, just for reference for anybody that is interested. Oh well, maybe not that way. No. So if you put 12 volts across here, it only lights this lamp on the dash cluster because it's been driven from here. The power supply is taken from there. If you power up one of these three larger dash lights, they all come on. So it's a very quick test. And that's the oxygen sensor there, which doesn't have a bulb in it. The choke lamp is now in and working. So I need to find out where the wiring is, which is here. Let's see if you can see that. There's the choke wire. So we've got a green and a white and blue. And that white and blue that comes through is supplying the 72, which should be the choke light, or choke warning light, which is the one on the dash. So that's where we are. So I'll just take you over to the car. I've got the steering wheel off. I've got a few more problems as well. This loom here, which should be routed underneath, was coming over the top, and it made it really tight on these connections. So much so that this wire here had broken. Let's have a look and see if you can. Had broken off of the terminal here, which does the flashing for the lights. So you've got, that would be main dip, that connection there, and then when you that'd be the main beam, obviously, full beam, and then the blue light should come up on the dash, and then when you flash, it's supposed to bring the lights up, and you get your time delay, and back down it goes again. So that's broken. It's seen better days, I must admit, but at least it is the later stalk. I've already sorted the washer out. Now, that's one problem I need to resolve. Now I've got a way around this, I suppose. I do have a spare one of these, but I'm a bit loath to get that in at the moment because I need to resolve. I know what the issue is there, but I need to get this car back together again because I've got a show this weekend, and my partner in crime, Jack, he wants this car in the show, and well, so do I really. You've got two V8s, obviously the Jag and the Triumph, because there's a universe of difference between them, and it details it's going to be detailing the detailing business and the storage business. So we're going to have an old vintage car there as well, so do the classic modern retro. Now what else? Oh yeah, there's the panel I've got. That's all the glue's been taken off. It's gone back to black. There's a song in that somewhere. And the center console with the air vent and controls, only speed 3 is working. Now, if you remember, I remember with Henry's garage, he had an awful problem getting that resolved. But basically, this is... let me see if I can find where the fan is on here. Basically, it's this section here. I hate pointing with my fingers. So that's the section there. I'm not sure you can see that, but if you look at this diagram for the UK market, right and left hand steering, that's the fan motor there. That's the thermostat, the cutout. Now, if you look at this diagram on item 38 on this diagram, the furthest left hand side switch is the slowest speed, which would be speed 1, and when you switch this one in, that removes that resistor and creates the circuit with one resistor. Well, on speed 1 you've got the 2 resistors in there, and then obviously speed 3, which is this side, speed 2 the middle, speed 3 is on the right hand side. You've got no resistance there, so you get full power, bang, connecting to the speed motor. So I need to look at this where these 2 resistors aren't coming into play. Obviously, as I stated way back in the day, that when you do switch this, you're switching the supply to ground. Okay, so the power will be there. So I need to have a look at that. It's not a biggie because I've got other fish to fry at the moment, and one of them, believe it or not, when I was trying to work out the pull on mechanism on the light stalk, the left hand light would only come up partially, and I thought, great, this is ridiculous. And again with the motors, because they're independent, they've got independent master relays for the lamps. And how can I put this into a nutshell? Basically, if you just chop out everything else and just had the circuit for the 2 headlight motors, forget the lighting at the moment, the 2 headlamp motors, this is the minimum you need with the master switch. Is that 14 yeah, the master light switch and this and this. Forget the timer. Forget the headlamp flash relay for now, although it is in circuit. I'm looking to get what is the minimum I need to get these two headlamps to come up. Now the left hand light is coming up momentarily, but then she will, as she goes around, she does come up. But that one seems to, the left hand motor seems to slam slightly, and she's actually sitting lower in the body of the car. I'll show you that now, actually. If I can get around, I'll try not to, let's see if you can see that. See, that one's sitting quite nicely there. And this one, if you look, is sitting, I'm not sure if you can see that from there, it's sitting a bit lower than this one. Yeah, if you look at the front leading edge of that, where the rubber is, they're not quite the same, are they? Near. So I need to look at that as well, but the car will have to be withdrawn to do that. So that's where I am at the moment. This is one of the lights, and again I need to check from the wiring, because I can just pop these connectors off and put them onto that dash. So yeah, and I found a lot of broken glass in here as well. I hoovered that out, and it was obviously had a broken windscreen. I got a nasty little shard in my finger, but there you are. And also the air vent tube here, it hadn't been properly snapped onto this assembly here for the blower. So that's been pushed back on again. It wasn't me pulling the dash out, because it was quite a way back, and yeah. So I'm just going to crack on with this. I've already routed the cable through where it should be. The light cluster panel is back in. I did clean it all up and spray it, actually. I used a sort of matte, I don't like the gloss, so I used the matte black paint on that. And yeah, what a bloody mess. I mean, outside the car looks fine, but it's all the little quirkiness of what people have done and how they've left it. And you know, I'm not being anal about it. I wanted to get right. I want all those lights as they should be and functioning. I did find the fuel delay unit. It was in here. There it is in all its glory. If anybody wants to take a quick look at the wiring, you've got two black, a green and black, brown and green and yellow, two greens. There you are, for reference there. That's how it should be connected. Okay, so that was there, at least. But I do not have the choke switch. It's not here, so I did take a quick look on eBay to see if I could find one. And no. So if anybody has a choke switch out there, please let me know. Thank you. And I'm now going to crack on with it. I think I've given you enough of my problems at the moment. Let's see if I can get the headlights to come up. I think I may have the battery isolated in the boot. So I don't think I need the ignition on for that. No, she's dead. I have got the ignition off in the boot. So I can show you the headlights later on anyway. That'll need to be fettling. And what I was going to say is that when it does come up, you can hear the relays. Click. And what I think is happening is the home position isn't quite right. So as to the outside world, regarding the outside world, to these relay modules, the headlamp actuators, they don't care what the outside world is doing. All they're doing is going between this switch and that switch, and when they move, it doesn't really know if it's going up or down. It's just going between the two limit switches here, and when it starts to run, this circuit with the relays latch in the power to keep the motor going whilst it's transitioning from one switch to another, and then when it reaches the other switch, it then drops out that circuit to the coil and brings in the power onto the other side of the contact to stop it, and so on and so on. So it really is a well thought out thing, this, to actually latch the relays whilst the motor's transitioning until the other switch circuit is made. And you've got these diodes in here, which are suppressor diodes to protect the motors. Anyway, that's how it works in a very, very basic nutshell. And then obviously it gets more complicated when you have the flash relay, the main beam, the dip beam, and you know, and everything else. But at least they are independent, and that's what I like about these cars. These cars had independent motors in them for each headlight. And with that, I'm going to stop waffling on. I need to crack on and get some stuff done. So with that, I shall leave it there for now and get back to you with some results or other problems. There you go. Thank you. Catch you in a bit. Right, bit of an update. I have got so far with this now. I've got the flash relay working. I've got the new center stack in, if you want for a better word, and the delay relay, the fuel delay relay, is in situ. The harness has actually gone underneath there, and there I have to tidy all the cable, get the speeder cable back in, and honestly the wind is kicking up as I speak. Honestly, what is it with the wind? Right, good weather for sailing, I guess. Now, one other point to make with these two plug-in modules, whichever way around they go, I think it's that away. One is the beam, and the other one is the rear demist, and they're both blue. And this one on the right hand side would be for the oxygen sensor for the American market, which I had to spare of one oxygen sensor even though it's not used, and one choke light. So I have found the choke light cable, which has been joined together so as if it's never opened, and so that maintains the closure. But I'm going to try and source a choke switch for that, and let's get this off here a minute, this gubbins off, and see if I can, while the wind holds up for a little bit, see if I can do this one-handed. Sorry if it's a bit jumpy. The choke does show, which is, what's the, be surprised how much these get in the way, these fellas. Anyway, I'm just going to pause you for a little bit. Right, welcome back. The chap was asking me about his boat sensor for the incline on the inboard motors. So, you know, he's on his second sensor now, so I said to him it might be a problem with the feedback voltage or, you know, something else. But anyway, might go and have a look at it with him at some point if he doesn't get any success. So yeah. But anyway, back to the 7V8. The center stalk, the light stalk is back on, and the lights are coming up, but only one light's flashing, so I need to get to work out what that is. Both lights are going back down nicely now, and yeah, the thing like I said about the oxygen sensor and the center cluster of the lights, it was for an early coupe version, because the two lights at the top, left and right, was the beam and rear demist respectively. So if anybody needs any for an early coupe, I have them here. And so all I need now is a choke switch. Everything else is right. I didn't check the horn actually. Yes, horn's working. That's working. So the plan is to get the top of the dash back in, get the cowling on, And oh, I've got the speedo cable back in. I must do that. And I think the fan actually at the moment can wait. I'm not overly concerned about that. I had to tighten up the choke cable bracket because that the screws were too long and it was just punching through, so I got some bigger screws to put in, fatter screws to bite into the receptacle. And what else? Oh, I'm going to do the wipers. That's what I have to do. Anything else? I've got to obviously clean up the dash, get rid of the remnants of the glue. I've got the center grill. That was pretty, it looks pretty brittle, that center where you've got the speaker hole there. So I've sprayed that up, it's drying at the moment. And yeah, getting there, I must admit. And the delay unit's back in situ. I don't know if I said that. That's where it should sit. There it is, that little grey box. And yeah, happy that it's got back. So if I'm out and about and the fuel light comes on and it stays on, I know I need fuel. And since it's a V8, I'm going to need that at some point, I'm sure. Don't want to be running out of fuel. So with that, I shall leave it there, and I might take you on a run at some point and see how she performs. Alright, thanks a lot. Bye now.